Imagine being days away from a string of shows with your name climbing playlists when one quiet call from a tow yard flips everything. A routine check becomes a headline. A missing 15-year-old is identified, and a vehicle registration points to a rising artist people thought they understood. From that moment on, every search result, every comment thread, every clip took on a darker tone. Tonight, we're drawing a hard line between what's verified and what's being said. Because in a case like this, the difference isn't small, it's everything. It began with workers at a Hollywood facility noticing something wrong with an impounded Tesla. Police showed up, investigators moved in, and within days, the public learned the name at the center of the tragedy, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The vehicle was registered to the singer known as D4VD, legal name, David Anthony Burke. Authorities opened an investigation, executed searches connected to the artist, and kept their public statements measured. No charges have been announced at the time we're recording this. That's the base layer. No speculation, no extra color, just the facts that started a storm. From there, the spotlight swung fast. If you know the artist's story, it's a quick rise, bedroom recordings, viral songs, then festival appearances, and sold-out rooms. But as the investigation expanded, the career machine hit pause, dates were canceled, brand and label activity reportedly paused, and the conversation moved off the charts and into case updates. It happens that quickly. One day it's streaming numbers, the next it's sworn statements and legal language. Fame doesn't shield you from scrutiny, it actually multiplies it. Meanwhile, the most human part of the story played out far from headlines. In Lake Elsinore, candles were lit, posters went up, and neighbors showed up because that's what communities do when they lose someone they were supposed to watch grow up. A GoFundMe appeared so the family could give Celeste a proper goodbye. The messages under it swing between love, disbelief, and pleas for justice. Through all the noise, this truth stays steady. A family is grieving their child. Whatever else you think, whatever side of the online debate you're on, that is the anchor that does not move. On the official side, investigators spoke little, but did a lot. A search was executed at a Los Angeles address connected to the artist. Evidence was collected, leads were developed, and because this is an active case, most details remain sealed. That can be maddening in a world that demands instant clarity. But investigations are built to hold up in court, not in a comment section. The timeline has to be precise, the chain of custody has to be clean, and the conclusions have to be supported by more than a trending hashtag. When there's real news, it tends to arrive through press briefings and filings, not screenshots. Online, though, patience is rare. Within hours, people started stitching together clips, lyrics, and old performances to build narratives that felt compelling. An unreleased snippet here, a moody video there, and suddenly every line was a clue and every metaphor was being treated like a confession. Some listeners argued the art had always been dark and was being reinterpreted through a new lens. Others were certain it was a roadmap hiding in plain sight. Here's the part that matters. Interpretations of art are not evidence. They can be uncomfortable. They can be eerie. They can feel persuasive. But in the eyes of a court, they are interpretations, nothing more. Then came the second wave of posts. Talk of matching tattoos, alleged old Discord clips, and threads that got locked or disappeared. Screenshots flew around so fast that context evaporated. A comment would be pulled from a months-old stream, stitched next to a rumor from a brand new account, and by the time anyone fact-checked the origin, the post had already been shared 10,000 times. Again, the only responsible way to frame this is as unverified chatter. It doesn't mean it's all false. It doesn't make it all true. It means none of it carries the weight of official confirmation. And if you've seen how quickly online groups can convince themselves they've solved a case, you already know why caution is not optional here. The more people scrolled, the more the story split into two tracks, one built on filings and verified updates, the other on rumor, memory, and intuition. On the verified track, we know a teen was found deceased in a car registered to the artist. We know investigators searched at least one location tied to him. We know public performances were paused, and industry partners held activity while the situation unfolded. We also know that as of this taping, no charges have been filed and no suspect has been named publicly. Those items form a small solid island of facts. Everything beyond that island lives in the ocean of claims, allegations, and people online are saying, even that would be heavy enough, but the conversation took another turn when people began arguing about silence. Fans, friends, staff, moderators, did they know anything? Did anyone ignore warning signs? Was there a community around the artist that saw more than they said? Those questions are explosive, and they're also the easiest to get wrong. People outside an investigation rarely have the full picture. A Discord comment might look obvious in hindsight and totally ordinary in the moment. A tattoo might carry meaning, or it might be coincidence. Without a confirmed timeline and vetted testimony, you're left with the echo of certainty, not certainty itself. There's also the part of the story that sits uncomfortably in the middle. Art that sounds bleak when the world is already looking for bleakness. It's tempting to take a lyric and hold it up like it's a key. It's even more tempting when the release date lines up with a personal date, or when a video character resembles someone the audience already has in mind. But art, especially dark pop and alternative, regularly deals in grief, regret, obsession, and endings. Plenty of beloved songs would read like confessions if you forced them to wear the weight of real-world accusations. That doesn't mean you ignore context, it means you handle it like a question mark, not a period. If you've watched these internet storms before, you know what tends to happen next. A theory becomes a headline becomes a belief, and once a belief calcifies, even confirmed corrections struggle to break it. That's why drawing the line matters. Confirmed is not the same as viral. Said in a thread is not the same as said under oath, and feels right is not the same as proven. In this case, the stakes are not abstract. A family is mourning. A young life ended. An artist's career is in freefall. An active investigation is unfolding. If we're going to talk about it, we have to do it in a way that doesn't trample the truth, just to satisfy the itch for closure. So let's do the checklist that should guide any viewer through a case like this. First, track official updates, press conferences, filings, statements from law enforcement, and clear, attributable reporting. Second, flag the language. When you hear rumors suggest, reports claim, or people online allege, treat that as a yellow light, not a green one. Third, resist the pull of definitive statements that don't come from verified sources. Fourth, remember that investigations take time by design. Speed and accuracy are enemies more often than friends. Finally, hold empathy at the center. It changes how you read everything, and it stops you from turning someone's loss into entertainment. Why did this story grip so many people so quickly? Part of it is the juxtaposition, a rising career against a devastating loss. Part of it is the age of the victim and the protective instinct that triggers. Part of it is the parasocial relationship fans build with artists, reading personality into posts and intention into songs. And part of it is just how the internet is built, velocity over verification, engagement over caution, heat over light. When something shocking hits, the timeline rewards who posts first and who posts loudest, not who posts most accurately. The best antidote is boring. Wait, read, compare, and accept that we don't know yet is a complete sentence. There's also a larger conversation here about safety and responsibility, who owes what to whom when fame overlaps with private life, when fan communities organize themselves, and when platforms make moderation calls that look suspicious in hindsight. Those are hard questions with no neat answers, but they're better asked slowly than shouted quickly. The impulse to assign blame everywhere can flatten the truth. The impulse to assign blame nowhere can excuse the inexcusable. The real work lives in the uncomfortable middle, where evidence decides what is and isn't true. Right now, the facts remain what they are. A teen is gone, her community is grieving, a car tied to an artist is at the center of an investigation, and authorities have said less than the internet demands. Beyond that, there is talk, some of it earnest, some of it reckless, some of it made for clicks. If you care about the outcome, you have to care about the process. That means letting the case move at the speed of evidence and refusing to treat speculation like verdicts. It also means acknowledging that if investigators do announce charges, the tone of this conversation changes instantly, and if they don't, that matters too. Here's where we leave it for now. A tow yard call became an international headline. A community gathered with candles and signs, an artist shows emptied off calendars, and an investigation kept moving in a straight line while the internet spun in circles. Hold space for Celeste family. Separate confirmed updates from rumor cycles. And remember that a story this serious shouldn't be told like a riddle to be solved by comments. We'll keep watching official channels, not whispers. Because when there's more to say, and there will be, the only version that matters is the one built on evidence, not echoes. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss any of the other celebrity gossip. Thanks for watching.